Alright, let's try this. Do the old share. Maybe that's not going to work. I don't know if that's working or not. Quick. Never mind. That's what that is. Actual first live. Okay. I'm going to saute some mushrooms. No, mushrooms. I always say mushrooms. Oh, that'd be great for mushrooms. Saute some cocktail shrimp. Get that. I started spraying a pan, and I'm like, wait a minute, I need to start live. So I guess we're gonna have to go this way. Sorry. But sprayed the pan with some Pam. I generally like the butter flavor, but I do not have that opportunity right now. Not even going to start heating that up because these may be peeled and deveined, but they've got the tails. So, what do? Next best thing. I am not in the truck today. I'm in the motorhome. One for trash, one for what I'm going to be cooking. Now, if you don't already know, there's a way that makes it easier. See that edge? Squeeze. That's how easy that comes out. Now these are pre-cooked, but I'm always one to push that out. You save more of the meat that way. May the meat be with you. About for my birthday, someone had bought me a steak to cook because it's been a while. Well, near a year and a half since I've had an actual steak. Just in case you're thinking that's me just pulling. Like that. Granted, the pulling slightly helps, but it's just popping it right out of its tail. Wish the whole rest of the shell was that way. And I can get peel shells and everything, but I gotta say, I'm lazy. I don't want to go off and do that completely. Especially if it's a bunch of them. But I'm like, since they bought the steak and I had bought the shrimp to add to as fishing bait, might as well use it up proper for steak and shrimp. Da, da, da. I wish somebody would show up. Okay. I'm going to try to share this out again. Okay. Sorry about that. Being as I'm on my phone to do this, almost messed up. Almost had it finished up, so I might as well just do the last few. Another one broke off. Might have been that first one that I was trying to pull. It didn't have the tail completely on it. It only had half of the tail. Oh no. Nope. That one's like that first one too. Alright. Beans as I'm probably gonna end up needing something to put the other trash on. Keep myself cleaning as I go. Saves you in the long run. Now let's see, got some seasonal here. Alright. Actually I'll set that there because that's got the water from where they were frozen. Alright. Being as I'm in. Kids, if you're seeing this, make sure that the adult is lighting the stove. I don't have one available, but I'm over 18, so. Right. Should have thought about this earlier. Actually, sir. Would not advise. Use the fork I used earlier. Alright, that spray is preheated. Don't want to get too hot because if you leave it too hot, risks fire with any of the oils. You see it sizzling already, and I just barely flopped it down. Right. Now, something I do, be careful when you're doing that, especially with gas stoves, but pretty much any heat source. Doing that aerosol flammable. Compressed flame, blow up in hand. So make sure you have an adult ready on hand, know where your fire extinguishers are, and clean up and safety aspects. Or if you're doing it by yourself, make sure your parents have given you permission. For the kids that might be watching this, okay. Now, lid. Turn that down to a medium low. Steaks. Actual Angus. New York strip beef loin. IV. When you're opening packages, use or freeze by August 30th. The date is right. Good. We got time. But there can be a very off-putting smell. So even if you just got it from the store, when the dates are right, look at your meats. And actually, you'll see a little discoloration right here. That's possibly starting to go bad or is older. But that's also why people will trim their meats. Put that bag right there. Someone use that. Start getting warm enough on that. I went and turned it off. Now, got some juices and stuff there. Yeah, this may not be crispy like I would like, but they're lightly sauteed enough to where I can go off and add them back on after I get that steak to where I want it. But I can use the juices and everything, the seasonings, to help aid in the steak. And yes, I'm in the motorhome, so that means I am using paper plates. In the truck, I'll be using paper plates. At home, that would be a different story. Food truck, if and when it happens, because nothing is ever definite. Hello, how are you doing today? Thank you for showing up and like. I can't read any comments. I am so okay. Sorry. But thank you for joining. Sorry. But anyhow, food truck happening would be a situation of whatever dishes we're utilizing, which would probably be disposable. but also at that same time. Hey, and then I just finished up doing a little bit of saute on some shrimp. I had finally realized that I had somebody actually in here and completely didn't see it, but I wasn't seeing any comments. So this is actually the first time I'm really doing a live. But since someone had bought me some steak for my birthday and I had shrimp, might as well do steak and shrimp. Oh, that sounds like fun. I went fishing earlier. It was not fun. Uh huh. Right. Uh huh. Yeah. Everybody, if you happen to be seeing this later on when I post this to as a video, Charlie Duke does redneck builds during the day, and from the satellite office he does anime streams and virtual reality gaming. Or I'll let him go off and say it properly because my tongue's being tied. But you're so well rounded that there's something that's somebody's gonna like somewhere at some point in time. And you do long streams, so if they're wanting to go off and have something to fall asleep to or to wind down with, they can go off and watch you have fun or however the case may be. Nice. Oh, nice. SAO. What is SAO? All right. Ah, cool. Granted, folks, I kind of already knew that from our conversation because he's my best buddy. Uh, but in case there's something looking at it later on, they're like, what did he just say? That's what he said. Right. There was a person, I don't, it may have been you beforehand, but they were here. I said, when I finally realized that they were here, but then I'm like, maybe it was kind of like the old TikTok delay aspect. But I ain't seeing no comments. That's one. But I'm like, oh, I don't know how to go off and change that. I thought I was doing this, had it going publicly, but right. Oh, I've been able to do live. I've been live one other time just for a test drive, type thing. But I'm like, shoot, I'm watching Fire Country, huh? Right. I was going live with the 86 I had, or before the 86. Yeah, I think it was over 50, maybe. But I was like once I got over 50, I checked it again and it happened. But also, I've been trying for 2 years with this channel, so maybe they just kind of aged me out. Be like, he's been there forever and a day. If he does something, he does something. Again, if you're spraying like this with the fire going and fan, make sure the adult's doing it, or you have permission from the adult. If there's any kids watching, because it is a possible flare up from fire. Any oil, compressed, otherwise, is flammable. I actually know I use a little bit of salt. I generally don't use salt. Seasonal has the salt in it. But figured, well, I was watching fire catching, might as well go off and watch it. So, and I had only used 2 shrimp out of the bag of shrimp I bought for fish bait. And just cooked, peeled, but had the tail still. So, showed how to pop them the shrimp out easy. Lightly sauteed at this point, because after I get the steak going, I'm going to put it in there with the steak too. I can't even see you, Duke. I just see a black screen, to be honest. So, does the sound okay? All right, cool beans. Because I'm not using the headset. Because I was hoping that. All right, sound of this going off and sizzling, so on and so forth. Great. I found my old unfoldable phone holder, and by doing it this way, especially in the motorhome, I can string a plug-in wire over across the sink, up the hole in the wood that goes on the sink, straight up the holder, and into my phone. So I'm not having to worry about powered discharge. Exercises, exercises, exercises. Okay, everybody. I did my exercises for the day. That's supposed to be funny, anyways. I try. All right. Also, this is for cooking only as a tool. Almost lost the fork. All right. Right now, this is what we're at. We're at a rare cook on this, which I don't mind myself. But I need to go off and flip them again because, and he's going off, popping off. But anyhow, Charlie Duke. I'll try to go off and make sure to tag him in the description. Now, generally with my steaks and my meats, I will marinate them and so on, and they'll be juicy where you can eat it with a plastic fork. As I have a video showing a good plastic fork and knife cut through. Flavor's good. Now, we see how that pan's looking? Well, that's because it's cooked on there. It's seasoning. So that's from seasoning to everything else. I'm going to throw this in there. Not letting the runaway go back in there. Pardon me. Now, generally I would use cranberry juice. But it'll help take that deglaze off. It's on the heat. It'll deglaze that skillet and pull that up off, make it easier to clean later on. But it allows it to go off, keep that moisture in there, make sure, well, I don't even know if the battery's plugged in or not. And actually, if I take all that meat out of there, I can go off and mix a little bit of flour, which would end up making a roux, aka gravy. All right. But yeah, I've been watching Fire Country. So got hooked on that. Been, pardon me while I argue with the drawer. Cotton picking, Rick reckon. Oh, that might have been one. My exercises had slipped up and got in the way. Yep, pop-up timed. Ow. I don't know, baby. That had also popped up. And I don't know if you've ever been in a motorhome, but sometimes they're built where wood drawer comes out, pull deal out with has utensils to get into further storage of that drawer. So, oops. And I will remember to check out the settings to go off and, shall I say, allow comments from anybody. Oops. Now, this is cooking up really fast in respects. Cooking meat fast can make it tough. A lot. Yeah. So, here's just something interesting. That popped right out again. See how this is bulging up? Use that as a sign to go off and check to make sure to turn it over. Now I know I cut that one part of the ribeye over, and I can tell where that juices are. Just a light, slight pinkish. That's the water and everything, and actually the dyes that they go off and inject meat with to make it stay fresher longer. Okay. So I go right through that thick spot. Very tender. But granted, it's New York strip. That's a nice medium well. Granted, it's salt because I use seasoned salt, which I generally don't use salt. I generally use garlic. I'm a garlic fan. Cranberry juice and a few other spices to go off in most of my meats. It tenderizes, flavors, and just all around goodness. And yes, I could have trimmed that fat off that steak, but also at the same time, it's going to render out, adding flavor into it as it's cooked. And I can go off before eating, do a slight trim on that piece right there, taking that outer edge off, or even before serving aspect. Make sure I use it the right hand to do it. Also, if I haven't cooked, rendered out, actually can be a whole lot easier to cut. All right, I'm going to take and turn down this fire. I just turned it off. All right. Yeah. I just happened to be barefoot, and that was a hot shrimp on my foot. Ouch, 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 ouch. Now, I've got some mixed veggies and stuff up here. Go off and throw some veggies down. Also, someone got me some potato skins, so I might go off and see about warming them up into that. Save dishes to a bit. Because still getting some things ironed out on this. The water heater hasn't been turned on because I'm afraid it's not going to work. And B, yeah, there's methods to flushing out the lines to use it for potable water, and haven't been able to do it because it had sit for so long beforehand. It's still trying to flush out from where it sat before acquiring its possession. All right. See all that gunk there? You can go off and put your milk, flour, make that into a roux. Now, I am going to, don't throw oil down the sink. Kids, let your mom do that, or your dad do that, or whomever is the guardian of you if you're watching, because that can mess up sewer lines. And I'm definitely not going to do it here. So it's going to be using extra paper towels, John Wayne paper, to clean it up. And but you can see how much it's coming up already. So it's a situation that water deglaze, allowing it to pull up off the skillet. Even if it says it's stick free, there's always going to be something if you're not careful. But anyhow, this is Paladin's Meats, Eats, and Drinks. I'll take a short video and post just in case the live doesn't want to go off and be proper. But in which case, have a wonderful day and may the meat be with you.